The United States of America $1 bill dated 1971 is a fascinating object because it sits at a crossroads of American monetary, political, artistic, and ideological history, and the phrases "In God We Trust," "E pluribus unum," and the institutional authority of the Federal Reserve System together express how the nation understands itself. The bill is a Federal Reserve note, issued by the Federal Reserve Bank under authority of the U.S. Treasury. And although its basic design traces back to 1928, the 1971 issue gained special historical importance because it coincided with President Richard Nixon's suspension of the gold standard, meaning that for the first time the U.S. dollar was no longer redeemable in gold internationally, turning the $1 bill fully into fiat currency, backed not by precious metal but by the full faith and credit of the U.S. government. On the obverse front is the engraved portrait of George Washington, based on Gilbert Stuart's 1796 Athenaeum painting, symbolizing Republican virtue, unity, and the founding of the nation, while the words "the United States of America" and $1 clearly state its legal tender status. Above Washington appears Federal Reserve Note, identifying the bill as part of the modern central banking system created in 1913 to stabilize the economy, manage inflation, and respond to financial crises. Below the portrait is "In God We Trust," the official national motto of the United States, which was added to all paper currency by law in 1955 during the Cold War, reflecting both the country's religious heritage and a political contrast with officially atheistic communist states. And though controversial to some, it remains a legally mandated phrase on U.S. money. The reverse back of the 1971 $1 bill is one of the most symbolically dense designs in the world, featuring the Great Seal of the United States split into two sides, with a bald eagle on the right clutching an olive branch, and arrows to represent peace and defense, a shield on its chest symbolizing sovereignty and self-reliance, and a banner in its beak reading, "E pluribus unum," a Latin phrase meaning "out of many, one," expressing the union of states and peoples into a single nation. Above the eagle is a constellation of stars forming a radiant glory, signifying the emergence of a new nation among the powers of the world. On the left side of the reverse is the unfinished pyramid topped by the Eye of Providence, symbolizing strength, endurance, and divine guidance, with the Roman numerals XXVI, 1776, marking the year of American independence. Above the eye is Annuit Coeptis, meaning he has favored our undertakings, and below the pyramid, Novus Ordo Seclorum, meaning a new order of the ages. Both phrases drawn from classical Latin and intended to express optimism about the American experiment rather than any mystical or conspiratorial meaning. The green ink on the back, which earned U.S. paper money the nickname greenbacks, was originally chosen for its durability and resistance to counterfeiting, and the intricate line engraving throughout the bill reflects advanced printing techniques developed to prevent forgery. From a collector's perspective, most 1971 $1 bills are common and not especially valuable unless they have rare star notes, unusual serial numbers, printing errors, or are in pristine, uncirculated condition. Yet historically, they remain important because they mark the moment when American currency fully entered the modern era of floating exchange rates. Culturally, the $1,971 bill is more than money. It is a portable document of American identity, blending Enlightenment ideals, religious language, classical symbolism, and federal authority into a single object used daily by millions, making it one of the most quietly influential artifacts in U.S. history. A small piece of paper that tells a very big story, the next top. The United States of America $1 coin dated 1972 with a D. Mint mark refers to the Eisenhower dollar, a large circulating coin issued in honor of President Dwight D. Eisenhower and to commemorate the Apollo 11 moon landing, and it represents an important transitional moment in U.S. coinage history. Struck at the Denver Mint, the 1972 D. Eisenhower dollar was produced only for circulation, not for collector's proof sets, and unlike some special collector versions minted in San Francisco, it contains no silver at all, being composed instead of a copper-nickel-clad alloy with outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, giving the coin a total weight of 22.68 grams, a diameter of 38.1 millimeters, and a reeded edge, making it the largest U.S. coin regularly produced for circulation since the peace dollar ended in 1935. The obverse front features a left-facing portrait of Eisenhower designed by Chief Engraver Frank Gasparo, with the inscriptions, "Liberty arching above the head. In God We Trust" placed to the left of Eisenhower's neck, and the date 1972 below, while the small d mint mark appears just above the date, identifying its Denver origin. The reverse back is equally symbolic, showing a bald eagle landing on the moon, clutching an olive branch, with the Earth visible in the background, a direct reference to Apollo 11, surrounded by the inscriptions United States of America along the top and E Pluribus Unum above the eagle, with $1 at the bottom, reinforcing themes of national unity, peace, and technological achievement. The 1972 D issue is especially interesting to collectors because 1972 Eisenhower dollars have three distinct reverse types, known as Type 1, Type 2, and Type 3, which differ mainly in how the Earth is depicted. Type 1, the most common and used on most 1972 D coins, shows a somewhat indistinct, flattened Earth with poorly defined Florida. Type 2, rare and highly valuable, shows a sharper, more accurate Earth with clearly defined continents. And Type 3 represents a revised master hub with refined details, though almost all 1972 D coins are Type 1, making Denver issues common but historically informative. In terms of mintage, the Denver Mint produced over 92 million Eisenhower dollars in 1972, meaning the coin is not rare. Yet it remains popular among collectors due to its size, historical symbolism, and role as the first U.S. dollar coin to circulate after a 36-year gap. Despite the patriotic inscriptions "In God We Trust" and "E Pluribus Unum," the latter meaning out of many one, the coin saw limited real-world use because its large size made it inconvenient, leading many Americans to store or spend them rarely, which ironically preserved many examples in relatively good condition today. In a modern collector market, a typical circulated 1972 D Eisenhower dollar is usually worth face value to a few dollars, while uncirculated examples may bring modest premiums depending on condition, luster, and strike quality, but the coin's true value lies less in price and more in its representation of Cold War optimism, post-war leadership, and America's pride in both its democratic ideals and its scientific triumphs, making the 1972 D Eisenhower dollar a fascinating artifact of American monetary, political, and cultural history, all embodied in a single, heavy coin. The next top. The United States of America $1 coin dated 1977 with the D mint mark is part of the Eisenhower dollar series, a large-format U.S. coin produced from 1971 through 1978, and it represents a fascinating blend of American history, Cold War symbolism, and transitional coinage design. The obverse features a left-facing portrait of President Dwight D. Eisenhower, the 34th President of the United States and Supreme Allied Commander during World War II, sculpted by Chief Engraver Frank Gasparo, with the inscriptions "Liberty" arching along the top rim. "In God We Trust" placed to the left of Eisenhower's neck in small but prominent lettering, and the date 1977 positioned at the bottom, while just beneath the neckline appears the D mint mark, signifying that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the primary U.S. minting facilities. The reverse design is equally symbolic and historically rich, depicting a bald eagle in flight, descending toward the surface of the moon while clutching an olive branch, an image directly inspired by the Apollo 11 lunar landing mission insignia, underscoring America's technological achievement and peaceful intentions during the space race. With the Earth shown in the background above the moon's horizon, and the inscriptions "United States of America" along the top, "E Pluribus Unum" just above the eagle, and $1 along the bottom, all surrounded by a raised rim. The 1977 D Eisenhower dollar was struck in copper, Nickel-clad composition, consisting of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, giving it a total weight of 22.68 grams, a diameter of 38.1 millimeters, and a reeded edge, making it the same size and general feel as earlier silver dollars but without precious metal content, as silver was reserved only for special collector issues minted in San Francisco. In terms of production, the Denver Mint struck approximately 32.98 million Eisenhower dollars in 1977, a substantial mintage that reflects the coin's role primarily as a circulation and casino-use dollar rather than a widely adopted everyday coin, since its large size and weight made it unpopular with the general public. Nonetheless, it saw heavy use in Nevada casinos, where dollar coins were preferred for slot machines, which is why many surviving examples show bag marks, rim nicks, and surface abrasions from bulk storage and mechanical handling. Historically, the 1977 issue is notable because it was the final full year of Eisenhower dollar production before the series ended in 1978 and was replaced by the much smaller Susan B. Anthony dollar, making it part of the closing chapter of America's last large-size dollar coin. Numismatically, most 1977 Eisenhower dollars are common and affordable in circulated condition, often valued close to face value. But examples in uncirculated or high mint state grades, MS 65 and above, can command modest premiums due to the difficulty of finding coins with strong luster, minimal contact marks, and sharp strike quality, especially on Eisenhower's hair and the eagle's feathers. Collectors also pay attention to strike characteristics, as Denver-minted coins can sometimes show softer details compared to Philadelphia issues. Culturally and symbolically, the coin stands as a tribute not only to Eisenhower's leadership, but also to American unity and aspiration, with E pluribus unum, out of many one, reflecting the nation's foundational ideal, and in God we trust, reaffirming a motto officially adopted during the 20th century amid ideological tensions of the Cold War. Today, the 1977 Eisenhower dollar is appreciated less for rarity and more for its historical resonance, bold design, and representation of a moment when U.S. coinage still embraced grand scale and monumental imagery, making it a favorite among type collectors, Eisenhower enthusiasts, and those interested in space-related numismatic themes.